Welcome, everyone, to the New School Originals podcast. This has been an idea that we've been playing with for a while. Don't have a name for it. That is still in the works. As of right now, the format is going to be just Sinister and myself. We are looking into the idea of bringing guests on from the org or as external parties. We want to keep these episodes short, say 20 minutes as kind of a benchmark, kind of just discussing topics we are particularly passionate about. So, that being said, my name is Todd. I go by Cash. Here I have with me today Sinister. Sin, what are we talking about?
Hey, so got an interesting topic to start it off. We're kind of going to play with this idea tonight of stream services that are obviously going to be your mandatory ones, like just Twitch and YouTube. But also, we want to look at the benefits of these new up and coming stream services, kind of like Kick is a new one that's been really popular. Todd, what's your initial opinion on kind of streaming on Twitch since that's kind of been your main bread and butter for a while now,
Hmm.
and you've been working pretty hard to grow it. But what are kind of your initial thoughts on Twitch right now as a industry standard?
I think Twitch. It's good that you phrase it as industry standard. I think Twitch has become the go-to. When you stream to Twitch. Now, of course, you have your YouTube streamers, you have your Facebook streamers, but anyone I talk to IRL, anyone I speak to, say playing games, whatever have you, where the topic comes up, it's always what's your Twitch, especially when such a powerhouse that Amazon owns Twitch.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, that
that
Twitch
being
Prime
said,
really comes in handy.
oh my God, yeah, please, you're $2.49 a month, please and thank you. Um, and so, that being said, Twitch is the go-to. Twitch is almost the end-all, be-all, as it's seen right now. We know the community of Twitch is not happy. The administrators behind Twitch has been called out many a times for playing favorites, for bending TOS for particular individuals, being too strict on some, playing favorites to others. The pay just switched to, was it a 50-50 for
Yeah,
subscription?
50-50 split, universal.
Yeah.
So even the streamers with like the private contracts are going to be losing those over the next 6 months.
And, of course, that is unfortunate. Where I kind of stand is that Twitch will not fall from its graces. Now, do I see a potential future where partners go on strike, so to speak, to kind of level contracts back into their favor? Absolutely. Now, something that NSO Flickables brought to my attention was the growing platform of Kick. And now it's not the messaging app that I used back in middle school and high school.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that really caught me off guard. And so I believe they're giving a 95.5 universal.
Yeah,
But
one of my
go ahead.
old buddies streams on Twitch now. Her and her husband, they would left Twitch and are on Kick, and she's having 5 times the success on Kick already.
And
Uh,
see, of course, hearing that, it's great. I almost had like a mini debate with Flick at this time, which is why we brought it to here. Um, is that growing on Kick? It's a little back and forth in my head because
mhm.
I cannot, in a fathomable world, believe that Twitch is just gonna lie down on its side. They're not gonna pull a Skype and let Zoom just come in. And
Yeah,
so when you go to a platform that offers such a good contract and whatnot, you are simultaneously growing that platform. And I think that power balance is one that can be very much so demonstrated in like a workplace environment. The worker is the one doing
mhm.
the work and the company's selling the product, for example. And that's where I'm at kind of a disarray.
Yeah,
Twitch is going to do everything to stay alive. I mean, what was it? Prime was it Thursday night football? I mean, like those streaming
yeah,
services
yeah.
are still
I
going
don't
forward.
think what I think what we're gonna kind of see is, and I'm gonna use sports a lot just because that's my main background, is kind
Sure.
of like this XFL, NFL. The XFL is never gonna rival the NFL. There's just too
Mm.
much money, too many. Just that is the gold standard. There's just too much backing it. But the XFL is a nice kind of secondary off season of the NFL, and it's having a lot of success not competing with the NFL. And I think that's what like Kick and stuff is going to have to do. hey,
Okay.
we're not trying to compete with you. We want to exist in the same space. So we want to be an alternative option. I don't see Twitch unless something drastic occurs to where Amazon just goes, all right, we're shutting it down.
Mm.
And I don't see that occurring. Like, hey, we're spending too much money with the Thursday night football stuff. We're spending too much money with the prize pool of our what's the monthly tournament Twitch does, like the tournaments.
Rivals. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
Twitch
Twitch
rival
Rivals.
series is spending too much money. We're shutting it down. Like outside of that, I'm looking at numbers right now. I mean, Twitch's a 7-day average is 2.5 million viewers per day, and that's just the
Per day.
average view. So I'm like, that amount of marketing and ad space, I think that's where if you're able to break the deadlock of growing a Twitch stream, I think Twitch is where you'd want to be. Because even on a 50-50 split, I think ad space alone, you're gonna make more money than proportionately you would on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, etc. Even with that 95-5 split, if I'm a marketer, what streamer am I gonna feel more comfortable paying? A Twitch streamer with 10,000 viewers or a
Mm.
Kick streamer with 1,000 viewers. I'm like, and I ran into this a lot when I streamed on Mixer. I pushed to almost a partner role in Mixer. I was growing a pretty large stream. But and it was I just could never grow it. I could never get backing. It was like even though it was backed by Microsoft, people just weren't used to it. They weren't familiar with it. And no one's going to throw money at something they're not familiar with. And I think that's what Twitch is still going to provide the security blanket for.
And all excellent points. That was actually something I meant to bring or meant to have you bring up was your Mixer experience with how suddenly Mixer collapsed. I mean, it was like,
Oh, it was in a
uh,
month. It was dead.
yeah, I feel like a business weekend and it was completely gone. And so that all being said, is there do you think there's like almost a shell shock in the industry for any I'll just say third party platforms to kind
Yeah,
of
no,
rise to the same
I
stature?
definitely do. At least me personally, I can't speak to anybody else because, like I said, I referenced Queens. If y'all want to check her out, she's a phenomenal streamer. Um, but we streamed together on Mixer, and then when Mixer collapsed, we all had to go to Twitch. It was either Facebook or Twitch, and none
Mhm.
of us were going to risk another third party streamer system because it was still too new, and we just lost everything that we'd worked for 2, 3, 5 years. Um, and so everyone went back to Twitch, and that's when I ended up just quitting streaming because I just couldn't break that deadlock of there are 5,000 active Siege streamers at the time, all with one viewer. Um, and so I just gave it up and went back to playing competitively.
Mhm.
She didn't. She grinded it out. She currently, I was looking at numbers just to like talking numbers. She has about 2.5 k followers on Twitch,
Wow.
and that's over a 2.5 year grind session, which is still pretty good.
Sure.
Um, that's more than most streamers can say they have. She already has 550 followers on Kick, and her average viewership is 65 viewers a stream. So when I
Mm.
look at numbers like that, I think that really helps me kind of calm those nerves. Like, okay, no, this looks to be legit. Um, but I want to see longevity. I think it's still too new, and it is the hot flavor of the month. And if we're seeing those numbers 6 months from now, I think I'll be a big supporter. But I think for me, the initial thing is going to be time. Can it continue to grow at the pace it's growing when it's not the new hot flavor of the month?
Absolutely. And I think you hit a few points that definitely let's say lead me to a few let's say thought processes is one, we definitely have proportionality with Kick. I mean, 2.5 versus the viewership and the time spent. I'm just going to
Hmm.
use say user profile as an example. you know how many streams were spent with little to no viewership. What's the
Hmm.
average viewership over 2.5 years? Then of course you look at 65 and 500 in such a short time. And Kick is not the first to arise and go,
Mm-mm.
oh my god, everyone move, everyone go over there, everyone go over there. And it's a flavor of the month is a good way to put it, because I think that yes, can you build a cult niche community very quickly on these other platforms? Absolutely. But I referred to it when I was speaking to Flick as inherent viewership. Every time
Mm-hmm.
a
Yep.
new game drops, I immediately go to Twitch. I want to see what
Yep.
streamers I like think of this game. New game drops, a tournament is going on.
Yep.
Any just big event with
Mm-hmm.
gaming. A dev is releasing, and maybe a small dev is releasing their new game like Phasma, but that of course blew up. And what platform did it blow up on? And it was
Mm-hmm.
Twitch. And people use the tags. I have been so blessed and so honored to meet so many people, and it's because I use certain tags that permit them to follow through. And these people actually spend time going through tags that are on Twitch because they know they like Twitch, they know they like to be a viewer on the platform, and then kind of siphon through 5,000 seed streamers at one
Mm-hmm.
viewer, and they're like,
Yep.
hey, this Italian kid's kind of cool, can we watch him? And then it just goes through the loops there. While I feel like on Kick, it might be an all or nothing scenario. You either stick or you don't. And that flavor of the month, I like how you put that, because the longevity is needed. The proportionality is there, but of course, for how long is it there?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why that contract is so enticing to a small streamer. That 95.5, that sounds awesome, but
Yeah.
how much is that 95 going to be?
That sounds like a crossroad deal to me. 95 to 5, I'm like, really? Like, where's your profit margin? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
live in, whether we like it or not, I'm sure this can be another episode, but we live in a capitalistic country, right? So it's a 95-5 split. Where's the company going to make money? Like, where is their ability to grow? I mean, part of the reason Twitch is going 50-50 is so they can add more events, more stuff, more support, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I'm like, yeah, like I think I could rationalize, okay, I'm gonna lose, your small streamer is gonna what? They're gonna get hurt probably the least by this, if we're being honest. Like Twitch doesn't even pay out until $100 a month. So if you're not
Okay.
even making $100 a month and you don't even doesn't even affect you. And so, streamers that are making 40K a month, like your top dogs, I'm sure they're incredibly irritated. This does eat into their bottom dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if it's gonna directly benefit you as a streamer with now our Twitch rival tournaments, we're talking $100,000 prize pool is what the new Fortnite one coming out is. I'm like, that's some serious cash, and it's guaranteed money for the streamer if they're invited. Like, yeah, 50-50 split, but I'm getting access to a whole new gambit of things that we haven't had. I think I could bite that bullet. Now, I'm not a streamer. I can't tell. I'd love to get one of y'all on that is a larger
Mm-hmm.
streamer and you want to come tell us. Like, please tell us. Give us your take on it. But to me, a 95-5 split, like, yeah, that sounds way too good to be true.
Absolutely. And kudos for the phrasing crossroad deal,
Yeah.
because I
I get that
absolutely,
supernatural love in.
yeah, 100%. And 100%, I agree with that. There is something's got to give. It is
Yeah.
too good to be true. And like you said, with that 50-50, it's being reinvested into community, or at least from what we can see,
Yeah.
more events, more viewership. I mean, let's take the basics of Twitch streaming. Partners, I believe they can stream up to 4K. No, they can stream up.
On
Was it
Twitch,
4K 60?
I'm not sure. I think YouTube is the only one that allows 4K now, unless
YouTube's
Twitch
the only
has
one. Okay.
recently updated. Because I know that was the big pull to go to YouTube was the higher the higher bit. Let me see. Let me just pop into
Sure.
an Imperial Hall stream, see what he's got. No, 960 is the highest source on Twitch.
Okay.
936 by 60, and then YouTube does the 1080p.
And so I kind of wonder, is there any scaling on other platforms such as Kick? You can
Let's check
do,
Kick out.
yeah, let's do 1080 at 30 frames.
Mhm.
How much money is being invested in their servers? How often do their servers go out? Is there like a bandwidth threshold going to the site? If they get too big for their own good too quickly based off such an appealing contract, are we going to see a Titanic situation? And
Yeah. Yeah.
like you said, it's being reinvested on the Twitch side of things back into it. I'm just going to compare it to, like, for example, a model. This modeling agency wants way more on their contracts, a 50-50 split versus my usual 80-20. And I've
Hmm.
come across that as a free agent before. And well, that agency has notoriety. That agency gets you more jobs, it gets you more eyes, it gets you into more rooms with closed doors, so to
Yeah.
speak. And going to just boil down to, how is this going to help a small streamer grow? Going to another platform or sticking it out with Twitch? I do have to raise the point, like, I've been very pro Twitch thus far. I'm not pro anything right now. I'm pro stability,
Yeah.
and I'm pro, if you earn your chance, you should get your chance, equity. And right now Twitch is hard to grow. I've been streaming.
Very. It's a deadlock.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been streaming since I was 18, but I have taken like year breaks. I've have moved 5 times in 3 years, where it's like I had like a consistent 20 watching in Resident Evil, and then the next stream, after 3 months of like going to a different zip code, back down to 3, and it feels like a nasty restart. And so, you know, how how much could this help someone that wants to start, whether it be brand new or as a fresh start, going to YouTube, going to Kick, or going to any other external platform?
Yeah. I don't know. That brings up one of my big problems with Twitch is just the I guess the easiest way just to look at it. I mean, it's just the oversaturation of small streamers on Twitch. And it
Mm,
feels like no one new ever breaks out unless it's a new video game or you're a pro player that now wants to start content creation. And so I feel like if you're just you're in high school, you like playing video games. I know lots of my students, when I talk to them, they're like, I want to be a pro streamer. I'm like, all right, what's your backup plan? Like, they're like, but you love video games. I'm like, oh yeah, I love them. But what's your backup plan? Like, it feels like it's almost like it's a daunting task now. Like when we were growing up, like it was, yeah, streaming was new. It was young. Like people were popping up every month, it felt like. When's the last time we've heard about a new partner on Twitch really start to just command viewership? I can't think
yeah.
of one. Um, so that to me is Twitch's biggest problem. With all of the positives I give Twitch, when I go watch a CS:GO game, where am I going to watch it? I'm going straight to Twitch. Like it's not even a question for me where I'm going. And that's where I feel like Twitch dominates. But if I was to start streaming again tomorrow, I'm not sure I would go straight to Twitch. And
Mm,
so that's where I think Kick and these third party sources, I think they are super enticing. They are, hey, it's small. It's there's room for growth. There's not 1,000 streamers live in X game. Um, but again, it also brings up that fear from Mixer for me personally. Like, am I gonna grind and grow and then it crashes? And that's kind of that double edged sword that I think that's just one of the swords you have to face when you're a streamer because there's a lot more problems than just the platform.
yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's a big problem, especially when we look at streamers like you, where yeah, you've hit your bumps and you've hit your stalemates. Life happens. But you have a base. You have some numbers on Twitch that you can show a sponsor. And they see like, oh yeah, you're almost at 1,000. That's good. They keep it up, keep growing, and we'll maybe partner with you. I don't know how quickly I would throw that away to jump ship to another third party. So I think that's the interesting question that a lot of streamers have to face. I know Flick just switched over and he seems to be enjoying it, and I'm excited to follow his career on Kick to see how it goes for him. But I think that's going to be an individual battle for every single person.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's going to be a balancing act of thresholds. Those who consistently have, say, 10, 15, 20 plus viewers on Twitch, that's going to be a kind of that people do not just switch platforms like that. Especially like you insinuate, anytime it comes to business, you insinuate that like a third of the people that you call are going to answer, a third of the people that
Yeah.
answer are going to set up an appointment, and a third of those appointments are actually going to show up. It's just this kind of like old insurance, like salesman kind of guide there. And so the idea that like if I have 15 consistent, and unless I get a signed and notarized paper from each of them, I don't really feel comfortable asking, hey, how would everyone feel if I switch over to Kick? But Flick is in a unique position. A lot of people are in a unique position where streaming has settled. There is a variety. There's VTubers, there's competitive players, there's casual streamers, etc. And now you can almost choose your own path a whole lot more. Wherever that path starts, is going to be more so up to you. But I have to agree with you. It's very intimidating to look at Twitch and go, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch, because there's not a whole lot of partners that I look at like, and they kind of come out of nowhere and they blow me away. It's one of those like, if you're in a niche community, they make it. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some VTubers that make it through, let's say the roadblocks, so to speak. But you know, other than that, uh, how am I, a new streamer that's not a pro in a game, going to kind of surpass all these roadblocks? And then what platform to do it on? It's a lot of variables to play with, and so it almost needs to be broken down. Like if you're fresh to streaming, let's go to Kick. Well, if you go to Kick and you get big on Kick, who's to say Kick won't become another Mixer
Yeah.
and or get acquired? Right now in
Yeah.
America, in a capitalistic environment, we're in an acquisition and merge heavy environment.
Hmm.
I it
We're
wouldn't.
familiar.
Yeah. And so I wouldn't put it past that Prime buying Mix or Prime buying Kick.
Yeah. No, but I do, but I will counter that point, and here's where I will disagree.
Sure.
When I moved over, I was at the point in my life where I was just graduating college. I was starting my family. I was going to a full time job. Me and my wife just moved into an apartment. I wasn't in a position to continue the full time streamer lifestyle. Between coaching and teaching, I work anywhere from, especially in season. Oh God, Todd, what do you think I work? 80, 85, 100
Yep.
hours a week? I
Yep.
mean, so there's no way I could fit streaming into that. And when Mixer went down, it was September. So I was just starting our first week of practice, and I was going into 100 hours a week, and I'm like, I'm not moving over. Who's to say that if Kick goes under and you're a new streamer and you do, let's just give that American dream scenario. You're a partnered Kick streamer, you got 150, 200 viewers a night. Kick goes down, well, everyone's going back to Twitch,
Sure.
right? So if you start up your account on Twitch, I mean, I would like to assume your viewers are gonna pick back up with you on Twitch. I think a new streamer, I would 100% go to the small guy. I think there's more room to grow. And I think it's a community that, because they're in a small system, they are more prone to support small streamers. At least that's how Mixer was to me. And that's
Mhm.
the vibe I'm getting from Kick is, no, we love small streamers here. We want to support young streamers. I mean, I can't even begin to thank the guys like Verbatim T, Nightide, Psycho. Like, these are bigger streamers on Mixer, and they're decent on Twitch. Like, but they would spend hours helping me set up my stream, set up my OBS. Like, it wasn't this just toxicity that I see in Twitch. Like, well, just Google it or just YouTube it. Everyone has to go through it. Like, that's where I think a new platform helps a small streamer. If I was in your shoes, I think that's the one that's got the most to lose. Like your intermediate streamers
Mm.
that have small success, but haven't made any significant financial success streaming. That's where I would be the most scared. Because what if one day you get raided from someone and, oh, now all of a sudden you've made it? Like how many times have we seen that? Ninja raids a kid, he gets 10,000 viewers, and you know what, even if 50 to 60 of them like the content, that's a 60% increase in his viewership.
Yeah.
And I think that's where intermediate streamers do have, like, I think that's where your topic is, like, that's the biggest niche group that would just be I would be petrified to switch personally. I mean, what are your take on that?
I That was a fantastic counter, and I did not even think about the idea that if another party were to collapse, Twitch being treated as the default is a pretty killer plan B, especially,
Yeah.
beginner, intermediate. I do agree. As an intermediate streamer, it is super intimidating for the idea of me to just jump ship and go to another streaming platform. However, a new one making their way through the world, getting big on Kick, and Kick does go under, of course. People that truly follow that schedule and follow that streamer are going to find a way to watch their content if they go to YouTube, if they
Mhm.
go to Twitch. So I think that is definitely a really good tertiary move there. Um, but yeah, being an intermediate streamer where you have double digit viewers, you have a good following base, the subscriptions are up there. It is a lot to sacrifice in the idea of stability. Um, because yeah, most of Mixer streamers did, I believe, end up on YouTube or Twitch,
I think
and they're
most
following.
mixers went between Facebook and Twitch. I don't think YouTube was really in the picture yet when Mixer went under.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That wasn't that. But it's not like they just gave up. They sold their
No, yeah.
PC, they sold the microphone, and they
Yeah.
called it
So sold the house, moved out. Yeah.
called it a day there. And so, yeah, absolutely. It may be a time for risk to be taken, especially
Hmm.
trying to get boots on ground as a new foot soldier in the environment, so to speak. Um, what I would almost have to guess that if Kick grabs too much say traction, I'm gonna have to expect Twitch to retaliate.
Yeah, I was
If
about to
so.
say, I definitely think there's going to be a retaliatory move if they continue with the success for another couple of months.
Mhm.
I don't see Twitch just allowing them to take as many partnered streamers as they are. I mean, I just got went
Yeah.
on Kick right now, and I saw immediate like three streamers I immediately recognized from Twitch. I mean, most
Dang.
notably like Trainwreck switched over. Like that was a big loss.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Ruff switched over. Paul switched over. Like these guys are had pretty significant viewers. Um, but my biggest problem with Kick, and it's this is going to make you laugh knowing my background, um, is I'm not sure I'm huge on the amount of. Hold on, what time are we at before we get into this
We're
topic?
at
This might be a part two.
27. So if you want to kill it and we come back to it, or if you want to be the final point, I have no issues with either or.
Um, well, this one you'll want to retort to. So if we want to do another 5 minutes on this, if you're good with this, I think you'll
Yeah.
like this point. This
Sure.
this will make you laugh, and those of you that do listen to this, if you do know me and Todd, this will make you chuckle as well. I think this goes beyond free speech. I do worry about Kick's promotional deal of anything goes. That
Mhm.
makes me nervous for a
Mhm.
streaming site if I'm going to move over to it, knowing in the culture we live in just how quickly that's going to get out of hand. And if that's what gets it shut down, that would make me. I'm not sure I want a streaming platform to be anything goes. And I know that
Yeah.
is funny coming from from me, where I am very free speech. I am very, you know, whatever it be. I'm not the status quo of everything needs to be nice and cuddly and in a bow. I'm fine with people getting a little bit of offended, but I'm not sure I want a multi-million-dollar streaming platform to be like, guys, doesn't matter what you say on here, we're not going to ban you. I think that's
Yeah.
where 4chan went wrong.
Yep.
like,
Oh, yeah. I was just
like
about to say.
I'm like, no, like there needs to be guidelines. There needs to be like, dude, you can't get on here with hate speech. Like we're not going to accept, we're not going to accept open racism as a form of dialogue. Like what? No, hold on, pause. um,
Not to interject.
no,
I
please do.
Absolutely. If we see the longevity that you and I are asking for, I'm just going to spit you a theoretical. Say I become partnered on Kick, 1,000
Yeah.
every night, I'm making the 40K a month. But investors look at me they look at Kick and the no TOS, you know, essentially the policy of it. And then there's another partner. I mean, slur after slur after slur. I mean,
Mhm.
just full blown stereotypical FPS gamer, you know, in a full like rage mode. You know, that's going to be like no investor looks at 4chan without a chill going down their spine.
Oh, I know.
And now is Kick appealing in that way of, yeah, I can be a little bit more open with my speech. I don't say particularly anything cancelable on Twitch, but yes, anyone that, you know, kind of crosses
Not
thresholds.
live, at least.
No,
You know,
and you know, that all being said, is it appealing? Yes, but that I feel like is a perfect case of a double-edged sword. You know, free
Check
speech,
out-
but not freedom of
check out
accountability.
the thing I just DM'd you really quick. And,
Okay.
and again, because this is our first episode, I don't know if I should read that title out loud. But if I'm an investor, and
Oh,
that is one of
Jesus
the
Christ.
that is one of the number one streamers on the platform.
Christ.
I'm not sure I'm ever gonna invest. Like, do you just want me to read out the title?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, this is on the main page of Kick, guys. You can fact check me on this
Oh
if you
my
want.
God.
But
This is rough.
it is literally, oh my, I can't even say this without laughing, but it's freshly 18 virgin and waxed uwu. Like, it's on their main page.
Uwu.
I'm like, and she's doing tequila shots.
Um,
Like, and you know what? Earn your bag, girl. Like, I don't care. Like, we're not even gonna get into that topic. But if I'm gonna invest money in a streamer, and that's the first interaction I have with the site, I don't know if I'm interacting with that streamer. Like,
that talk about a perfect example.
I think it's a perfect way to end this podcast.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
like this content, like and subscribe.
So we're both clearly particularly passionate about this. This directly does affect us in some way, shape, or fashion. I would love to read comments, read replies. Of course, we're probably going to tweet a snippet from it. I think a part 2 is warranted, maybe with a guest. Would love to get Neuro. I'm going to name drop.
Oh yeah,
Just,
Neuro
yeah,
would be
they-
great
yeah.
to get in here.
Amongst a few others on this. This
I'd
might be an
love to
ongoing
tell them
one.
that doctors don't know anything. I think we should do that. Let me get my 4chan evidence.
Kick,
Really
yeah,
quick.
say
Get
Kick
Neuro
will
in
permit
here.
it. If I
Let's
stream the
do
Kick,
it.
it'll allow it.
Oh my god, I love talking to Neuro though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What a stand-up individual. So that being said, I'm set on that. We're definitely gonna have to go down a deeper rabbit hole on this topic. I have nothing else at the moment, though. Sin, you got anything?
No, I'm good. I'm just really glad that we finally got this underway. I know we've been talking about it for like 2 years, and yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 1, people.
Well, stay safe, stay healthy. Much love to everyone. You know, give us as much feedback as possible. We take criticism well. Please make it constructive. We ask just kindly of that. But everyone, stay safe out there. Peace.
Peace.